walk us through what happened with the markets today.
Well, as you know, we had a 3% or 800-point drop in the U.S. stock market, the largest stock market in the world. That always is disconcerting in one day. There were three key stories on the front page, if you will, that I think drove this. The first was early in the morning we learned overnight that the German GDP growth was flat for the second quarter. And where Germany goes, usually Europe goes, and they're the biggest exporter in the world, and so that tells us about markets globally. Second thing that happened was Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross said this morning, no trade talks are going to happen in September. We had thought there was going to be the U.S. trade rep going back over to China. That's not on the cards now, and so that means right now those trade problems with China are frozen. And the third thing, also relating to China, all these are related to China, they have moved 500 military vehicles to the border of Hong Kong. Pretty serious.
So when we look at global markets, there's fears of a recession here in the United States. There's fears of a global economic slowdown. We've already seen the Nikkei open almost 2% lower, as well as the Australian exchange, which, right, as we were just discussing, it's always the domino effect. What do you forecast and project for the global markets?
So, by the way, I think it's one of the reasons why the president today said he's going to freeze these additional tariffs on China until December 15th. The U.S. farmers are concerned about their sales to China, the Christmas presents, and the markets that happened this morning, et cetera. I think right now, to try to simplify things for our purposes, however the U.S.-China trade relationship goes, so goes the U.S. and the world economy the next year or two. So Mr. Trump has put a lot of chips on that bet to change behavior in China.
Are we headed toward a recession?
We now have lots of signs of that. We had the bond inversion, you know, the 2-year versus 10-year interest flip, which hasn't happened since 2007. That's an unusual event, although it may be something that'll go away pretty quickly. But we'll see. These are, you know, Europe hasn't reformed. They haven't lowered taxes. They haven't deregulated their industries. They're not growing their population. So Europe, you know, which is a big part of the world GDP, is not reforming. And so the U.S.-China thing will probably tell the tale in the next 18 months.
All right, Michael Maibach, great to have you back. Appreciate you being with us.